Okay, so we just got on location. Model's not here yet, so I'm prepping, you know, my first shot, so I'm ready to go. I want to shoot against this wall here. It's got all the holes in it. There's a lot of texture here. Now, the thing is, what lens am I going to use to capture all of the scenery here? I thought about using a 35-1.4, but it's like this image, I don't really care about getting background blur. You know, it's more about showing off more of the scenery. If anything, I don't want to blur it out. So I'm gonna opt with a zoom lens, 28-70 Sigma 2.8. So I have the flexibility of getting closer and also just getting farther. Because again, I don't care about shooting at F1.4 for this kind of shot. So when I'm looking for a composition, I tend to just do this a lot, you know, pretend like she's there. And basically what I'm trying to do is just try to find a composition where I fill the frame with buildings, okay? Because if, let's say I had a complete white sky right there, and I'm trying to take a shot, he was like, why take a shot with white sky when I could take a shot and I have a bunch of buildings in the background? And I've actually found my sweet spot where I shoot maybe this angle, and I have those two buildings, almost like symmetry, so I have one on each side. And if I put it right there in the middle, I got some symmetrical buildings in the background at 28mm. So those are the first things that I do when I get on location. Now I'm using 2 flashes. Well, that's my goal, is to use 2 flashes because it's a very dull gray day. So I'm gonna have a flash as a backlight. I'm also gonna have a flash as the key light. So one in the back, one in the front. Very overcast day, I'm not getting any kind of lighting. So if I use one light, it'll look still, the image will look kind of flat. It'll look okay, but I'm running 2 lights because I'm fancy like that. I'm gonna just basically clamshell her, put it right in the middle. And she's a very good model, so I'm gonna just have her do her thing. We're gonna start taking some real photos now. 1, 2, 3, just kind of flow for me. It's too much side light. I'm gonna go more front light. Oh, now what I see here is the parking lines. And I can use that as like a leading line. So now for this one, what I'm thinking is just getting up close to the texture. So shooting a little bit wide, getting the entire wall, no sky, just getting the entire wall in the shot. Sometimes you just look at something and it's like, you know what, I think this will look cool. I just think putting her next up against it, giving me a little bit slightly different perspective to this shot. So yeah, for this one, I may just go with 1 light because I'm getting spill. I'm getting light spill from this one, light spill from that one. It's creating like a hot spot here, and then it just doesn't look even. Against this wall, oh yeah. I just said, let me make sure there's no spiders. And right behind me, there was a spider web with a big spider on it. I'm not a bug kind of guy. That's why I never go camping. Ryan, do I have a bug in my hair? No? And we got it. Hell yeah, those are fire. All right, this second spot. I'm using both lights again. She's gonna be facing this light. There's a lot of character going on with that parking lot. But you know, it's always tricky when shooting, you know, top down on a model because it makes them look small, you know? It's usually not a good way to do it, but if I get her, so if I shoot from a higher angle and I get her to bend up toward the camera, it'll kind of even everything out a little bit. So that's what I plan on doing. I definitely want to shoot from this angle and I want to get all of that. Now I'm getting like a compression and a background blur, but I still get that depth that I want and the character out of the buildings. All right, so now I'm gonna dish the flashes simply because when I turned the flash off for some of these, it looked better, natural light. Like it's got a more of a dreamy look to it than edge. This is when I put my camera in continuous autofocus mode and just kind of move around and snap whenever I see something that looks good. Straight money shots like right here. Boom, boom. All right, so for the last shot, I just want to get a little creative. I busted out the 14 1.8. Now you gotta look at the world completely different because everything's gonna be stretched out and I'm gonna be this close to her. These yellow, you know, the parking lines, it creates like a box for me. And if I put that in the corner at the bottom, that's how I first found my shot. And now that if I pose her in that box, I feel like that makes for a kind of a cool look. And I make sure I keep her in the center because that's how you prevent her from getting a lot of distortion.